We can take a look at our power rankings.
Oh,
the Plat Chat
God.
power rankings. Before we get after power rankings, we actually get to our first sponsored segment ever.
Oh,
So
we're
not doing. Wait,
what you want to do the sponsored segment
No,
first?
we're doing the power rankings first.
What's
We're
the
going
power
to end with our
rankings?
first ever sponsor segment.
Wait,
That's how
when
we'll
do
end
we
the show.
decide on these?
No, we haven't done them yet. That's the point.
That's
We've got to
we
construct them
are
now.
going to do power rankings. This is how. That's how we're going to do power rankings. I'm gonna pull them out of a wheel. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's pull it up,
Okay.
baby. Okay.
This is alphabetical order at the moment.
Yes. Currently, okay.
This is a beautiful tool.
Would I?
All right, get Boston down to the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get Boston at the bottom
put
because
them down there.
Houston used to live down there, and now.
It's Boston.
Well, I think Houston may be next door neighbors still.
But what about Toronto?
Yeah,
See,
Toronto. Come on, man.
I don't know. Toronto's so hard to place.
Put Toronto
because-
between Houston and Boston.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Do
Yeah.
you though? Because
I think I do.
The thing that I keep having to like get straight in my head is Toronto took Fusion to 5 and they looked kind of good there, but I think Fusion just got knocked off because they weren't expecting the
They
dive.
weren't prepared for it.
Who would you? I think my top 4 right now are Shock, Titans, Fusion, and
Fusion above
YXL.
Titans.
Why is the Shock number 1? I don't get. I feel like you can't
Off of
rank
roster.
Because you can't
off of
find an
the-
argument why they shouldn't be.
Yeah,
It's
why,
just
what's
like-
the argument that they shouldn't be?
because Fusion have a roster that's as good. They're 5-0 and they look sick in hero
I'm okay.
pools.
Look, I said that's my top 4. I'm totally
sure.
okay with the Fusion being number 1.
I think
Like,
you should because the San
You
Francisco.
think?
Because
I don't think it's.
I think
mean,
if there's one team, I kind of mentioned this a little bit on the show yesterday. If there's one team that has a roster that can go toe to toe with the Shocks, like player for player, like Philly's as close as you can get.
Yeah, I think it is. Like
I think Philly is
that doesn't feel right.
It doesn't.
bro.
It doesn't feel right,
Okay,
and I
alright.
think that Philly hasn't really beaten great teams besides New
New
York.
York!
Besides
Shock-
New York.
Shock beat
Let
Dallas!
me finish.
Oh
Let
my
me finish. I
God.
said besides New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why
my
do they need to
God.
beat more than one previously thought of as top 5
They went
team?
to 5 maps with Toronto Defiance.
All right, why don't we do-
Shock lost a map to Dallas.
Yeah, but Dallas played up to them.
I think
just
you
think
can
you're
do,
taking things
I
out
think
in
you can do
advance, and it's
Shock,
too
Fusion,
extreme.
Shock Fusion 1 and 2. It's a coin flip. I would say 3 for me is still New York.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I
I
think
would-
New
You
York
think
get
Titans
bumped
are
down.
better than
Yeah, New York, Titans.
Yeah.
Titans.
Okay, so you can go
Titans
Titans.
third.
Titans 3, New York 4.
Yeah.
Who goes to 5?
Bro,
Does
I
Paris
would say,
go 5?
bro, I'd say Paris is above New York.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay,
actually
that's-
would at the
What?
moment.
Well,
at the moment, I would.
I
yeah.
think Paris are above New
You
York.
think right
No,
now
no,
if
no,
they
no. So
played,
this
that
meta
Paris
is
would
behind
be-
us. This meta is behind us.
Yeah.
You can't keep thinking May McCree all the time.
But these power rankings are what we've seen so far. They're not like us predicting next week. Right?
I
no,
would
but
say,
it is
yeah.
what teams you think are the strongest going into next week.
Yes.
And I think New York
think
is
New York
stronger
is
than
better
Paris
than
going into
Paris.
next
yes,
week.
yeah, I agree
think
with
so?
that. I think going into
Yes.
next week because Paris still have question marks about how they're going to adapt with Ben
Yeah.
Best.
I
on
would
the
put
Rhine.
Paris right underneath New York.
Look,
though.
New York,
Okay.
New York with Libero and Nene looked a lot different from Who Are
Yeah.
You and May.
Yes.
You've all sold me.
I think if New York play Paris last week, Paris win. If New York play Paris next week, I think New York
wins.
probably
Yes.
You've all
So-
sold me. I give you permission.
So we can put New York above Paris.
I
Swap
do
those.
really think, though, that the San Francisco Shock at number 1, there is no good argument for them being at number 1
I'm
other
not-
than
look,
they won last year.
But we don't know.
No,
it's
they're
been
impossible
so
to
long.
rank. They're impossible to rank.
It's the same with
Who
Titans.
comes
Same with
after
Gladiators.
Paris?
Oh, so throw
Well-
Shock down in the dumps with Shanghai Soul because they haven't played enough. We can just say that they haven't played enough.
But they have
Ooh.
played.
They have
we
played
have
one.
seen them.
Now, do you know what? I'm happy with them being at number 1 as long as we have the caveat that it's a very...
It is like a tie for 1.
But
It's
here's
like a
the fucking
tentative
thing,
place.
though, Josh. The plebeians are going to take a picture of that when
Yeah,
it's finished
yeah.
and post it saying Black Chat's Power Rankings. And all the comments are going to be like, why are Shock number 1 still?
Yeah.
You know, like,
So are you worried about combating those people?
I lose sleep at night thinking of Reddit. Matt, I lose sleep.
That's horrible.
If I don't get a thread posted about me every day...
You've sold me. Put Philly at 1. It generates more votes.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually.
we go.
Okay, fine.
Who's after Atlanta?
Philly
Can I-
number 1, though.
can
I still think we're high.
They're
Like,
5-0.
No, they're 5-0.
They're 5-0,
Dude, their
like,
roster's
come on.
nuts.
Yeah, they're
Their
doing
roster's-
Okay,
Well-
so what teams have they beaten? They've beaten New York. They've beaten...
But there's something to be said about just beating the crap out of teams you're supposed to beat the crap out of.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
the point I'm trying to
Like-
make.
Yeah. See, here's a bigger question for me: is where the hell do you put the Gladiators? They've only played
Yeah.
one match.
Yeah.
Like the Shock, it was a loss, but it was a 5-map loss to the Titans,
Right.
who everybody's putting pretty high.
I think they look good. I think you put them like
Are they
fifth,
after
sixth, maybe.
Atlanta?
Under Atlanta, above Atlanta.
This is so hard. I almost want to just take out all the teams we haven't
I mean,
seen.
theoretically, I want to think they are better than Paris, but I don't think that's.
I
fair.
don't think that's
I don't
true.
think
No.
they're better than Paris.
Is London better
that's a
than
good place for
Florida
it. I think-
and Dallas?
I think below Atlanta is a good place.
Yeah, I think
No,
below
yeah,
Atlanta for
yeah,
now.
that-
For
that's
now, we
better.
can
Is
revisit
London
it.
better than Florida and Dallas?
Yes.
Are the
I think
Valiants
so,
better
yes.
than London?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think
Yeah,
it's a
I would
no,
say
they
they're
are.
better than Glads.
No, they are.
You think Valiant are better than
Actually,
Gladiators?
Yes.
Valiant were good in this past meta.
But who knows?
Can I remind you all that
No, I
Gladiators have a
think Gladiators are better than Valiant.
Gladiators have Mirror and
OG.
Jaru. Mirror, Jaru, and Birdring are their DPS on
But
the
they play
Gladiators.
And they have
Well-
space like.
They did play pretty well. Yeah, I'm happy to give Gladiators a benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
But it's the
Okay.
same as the Shock. We're just giving them the
Like,
benefit
I
of the
almost
doubt.
feel good about the power rankings that are there right now for the top half.
I mean,
In that
London
order.
London is a big question mark to me because on one hand they've had some weird matches this season, but at the same time they have Glister and they have Bernard and they've looked really good. I don't know how to feel going into the next meta because Shui hasn't been convincing on really any hero at all.
Really?
So I don't know. No, I don't.
I thought his
good.
Genji was pretty good when he pulled that out.
Excuse me?
Genji's
Did you
pretty
watch
good.
that?
Yeah, his Genji fucking pounded, actually.
No, it actually did. I don't think that was the greatest Genji play I've ever seen. That
Why-
looked like
why not?
Brenji.
I mean,
He had one good blade.
he had one blade.
No, he had two blades.
Did he? What happened to the previous one? I remember watching
The
it and
second
thinking,
one,
Shui
he pulled out and swung it on an ice block, and then he dashed at no one, and then he
Oh
died.
yeah. Well, frankly, I don't think you should be playing Genji.
It was
anyway.
like it was like 1 minute of Genji.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
regardless of that.
But Shui has shown that he can
So
play.
I'm kind of
stuff
okay
in the
with
past.
those rankings.
I think
you
Dallas is too high.
Too high.
Okay, Dallas is below Florida.
below Florida.
I think Dallas
Are they below
below.
Washington.
No.
Well, okay. Let's think about how they would play this week, right? Like think about Dallas in hero pools.
The thing is, I actually look at this Dallas roster and I kind of like it because I think Decay is really good.
The Decay
I
is
have,
very good.
I have question marks about Doha because so far it's only shown us like Doomfist and Sombra and not a lot more. I want to see more from him.
Yeah.
I think Gamsu and Note, not the best, but they're still stable, and I think that should
Yeah.
account for something.
Okay.
Crimso, I think, is good, but
Yeah.
I would like
Above
to put.
Florida?
I don't think so. I would
No.
like to put Dallas underneath because
Are they under Washington?
I.
I don't feel good about Florida at all, actually.
No. Shove Washington down one more. There you go.
I don't know. I also think that the Houston Outlaws are in a better position this week than
Then even maybe the Justice.
yeah, but the Justice have the benefit of the homestand right
Right.
at the moment. So yeah, I feel like
I
putting
think a
the
lot of those teams down there are so close.
yeah, putting the Outlaws any higher is just feels
So,
wrong.
Well, I mean, I almost want to put Washington over Dallas, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like this happens time and time again that I look at the Dallas roster and I'm like, I get excited about it, but at the same time, we haven't. You can't get excited about Dallas until they actually start
winning
showing
games,
stuff.
man.
Washington has actually looked good at times throughout this season, and I know they had a few weird losses, and I know I went ham on them, but they have actually shown us teamwork
Yeah.
that is
I agree with
respectable.
that. I agree with that.
But they just haven't been able to convert
Right.
that into wins, especially considering they had the flu and were sick, etc.
so this
But
is it.
I
Okay,
actually
that's it.
seen
What-
Washington perform well.
Yes.
What about
Unlike Dallas, I
I
haven't
can
seen
see
enough of them.
Washington getting there as
Yeah.
a team. I struggle to find that
Yeah.
some other spots.
Yep, I feel all right about that. That's
Okay.
a
So-
decent power rankings.